Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share some top tips to help you choose your perfect student house. For a bit of background, I'm currently in my third year at the University of Warwick. In my first year I lived in halls on campus, and in my second and third years I've been living off campus in privately rented accommodation. Most of these tips will be from my own experience or from my friends' experiences, so hopefully it will be useful. I've spent a really long time on Zoopla searching for houses, viewing houses, and finally in my third year I'm in a good house. So hopefully some of these tips will help you out as well. So my first tip, and probably the most important one, is to make sure you know what you're looking for. So before you even start looking, make sure you have chosen the location you want to live in and you've chosen the people you want to live with. This will obviously help you narrow down the houses that you need to view. This might sound really obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many people just go see houses that might not even suit them, and this is a waste of your time. So once you have an idea of your own budget and an idea of your housemates' budgets, you can start looking. I would recommend websites like Zoopla or Rightmove, but there might be other ones depending on where you live. My next tip would be to go to a viewing if you can. Obviously, as I'm filming this in COVID times, that is really difficult at the moment, but viewings are still allowed to go ahead. If you can't go in person, I would recommend asking for a virtual viewing. Viewings are really important because a picture can only show you so much. So if there's any damage to the house or anything the landlord doesn't particularly want you to see, they will not include it in the pictures that they use on Zoopla. So when you go, you can have a chance to look at the house for yourself, and also you can ask them as many questions as you want while you're there. My next bit of advice would be to say that if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. If you found your dream house and it's like £100 under your budget, then something is probably not right. Obviously, it is the landlord and estate agent's job to get the house rented out, so they'll make it sound as good as they possibly can, which is why viewings are so important, because what you read on Zoopla might not correlate to what you see in real life. And this brings me on to my next tip, which is to not rush into things. So often estate agents will try to push you and make you sign contracts earlier than you would want to, but please don't fall for this trap. If they're being really pushy, then it might suggest that something is wrong with the house. Obviously not all the time, but it's very possible. And on the topic of estate agents, another red flag is if you're not able to get hold of them. So if you try to contact the estate agent or the landlord to ask them more questions or arrange a viewing or anything like that, and they're really hard to get hold of, then I would see that as a huge red flag, because if you can't get hold of them to arrange a viewing, how are you going to get hold of them if it's an emergency? And on the same note as the previous one, if your landlord or estate agent is doing something that seems to be dodgy, it probably is. For example, if they change their phone number and don't tell you. My next tip, which I know most people don't actually do, is to ask to see gas safety and electrical safety documents. It is a legal requirement for a house to have these documents if it is to be rented, and you have every right to ask to see them before you sign anything. So if you do see the certificates and they are in date and everything seems fine, then this is a good indicator that the house is well maintained. However, if the estate agent or the landlord is reluctant to show you, or they're refusing to show you, then this is probably because they don't have them, which means the house is not being checked by professionals to be safe. So I would highly recommend not living there for obvious reasons. My next tip would be to not believe false promises. So this could be to do with the gas safety certificate, for example. If you asked and they say, I don't have one, but I'll get one before you move in, or if they say something will be fixed before you move in, this is probably not the case. And my final tip would be to find out everything that you can about the bills. So in some properties the bills would be included in the rent price, and in some they wouldn't. If they are included, that's great, but make sure you find out which bills exactly are included, because sometimes internet can be not included. However, if they're not included, then it's really important to find out how much approximately they might cost before you actually move in. And once you do move in, if you have to pay for the bills yourself, I would recommend splitting it equally with your housemates, and you can do this on a range of different apps. And some apps also let you pay for your bills all in one payment rather than paying separately for electricity, gas, water, etc. It is also a good idea to find out if you can change the energy providers if you wanted to. So for example, if you find a better rate for electricity, are you able to get onto that? So I will leave some links below. And that is pretty much all my tips. I hope you found this useful. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck, don't rush, and I hope you find somewhere that you really like. Thanks for watching. Bye.